Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS, Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and I've been doing this now for 25 months. It's a little over 2 years on my third year, where I talk to you live from the city called Surf City, USA, south of Los Angeles in California. I'm 3 blocks from the ocean, and I'm here to help you with the child protection system. Now, a lot of you have not heard about it, and a lot of you have. There's a lot of horror stories about it. Now, I'd like to start off first by telling you that I am not giving you legal advice. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer. I'm giving you educational advice and experience from myself fighting CPS for 15 years and having my children trafficked and stolen from me, and from talking to over 2,800 people from around the world, not only in the United States. All 50 states have either texted in or called in, and a total of 24 countries have called in or texted in. Countries like Indonesia and Bangladesh and India, then up to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Libya, then over to the continent of Africa. I have Liberia, Sudan, the Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and South Africa and all its provinces. Then up to Europe, United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, Denmark, and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America, to Canada with all its provinces, to the United States, and all 50 states have called in or texted him. I even heard from Washington, D.C., south of border Mexico, and further south in South America, north of Brazil, on the East Coast, Grenada. Then over to the South Pacific, I have New Zealand, and the land down under Australia and its states. So I have a lot to feel on. The one thing they all have in common is they encountered a rogue CPS entity. I'm not advocating get rid of CPS. I'm active making changes. Because what's come to show me statistically that 50% of the CPS cases are bogus, meaning they call in with allegations, these so-called professionals, and then the lay people, the other group of people. And the professionals get right 50% of the time. But the lay people get it right only 25% of the time. This is based on statistics. There's a 50-50 chance that you encounter a bad CPS. And I know that the people that have been here, the 2,800 or more, have expressed their concerns and what has happened to them. What has happened to them. Now, I'm on every night of the week at 7 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. During the mornings, I'm on weekdays at 10 a.m. and on the weekends, 8 a.m. They're 1 hour live streams, and I'm here to help you. I have 43 years of marriage experience and 61 years of working experience and life skills. I too was a victim. I too went through turmoil. I still am going through turmoil. I'm still going through turmoil. And it's sad. It really is sad. But I'm here because I care. I'm a loving father and a husband with 43 years of marriage. I've helped raise 6 children. 3 of them were taken unnecessary and trafficked into CPS and into foster care. They're abused. They're made to alienate from their parents. It wasn't a pleasant thing that went through. I developed 5 rules that will help you. If I had followed my 5 rules, I never would have been involved in CPS. I never would be involved. Now, someone just sent me emoji, which is a way that you can interact in this room, and thank you. The emoji came from Barry Divrex. Thank you very much for the love emoji. There's thumbs up, there's smiley faces, there's even stars you can send. Please check the follow button and write me a review. Write me a review. And if you want to know when I'm on, check the notification button. Now, one thing is important when you are interacting with this live stream that you text me a message, either a question or a comment about CPS. Make sure you include your first name, your city or county, and your state. And if you're from outside the United States, put your country. That's one way you can interact. Another way is to be a guest on my live stream. There's my email. Just email me that you want to be a guest. I can take up 9 of you. I can take up 9 of you to be my guest. Now, once I get your request for one of my 14 live streams, just say you want to be on Bob's Sunday morning show, or Bob's Friday night show, or Bob's Wednesday morning, or Monday night, or Tuesday morning. Whatever show you pick, you just say morning or night. And you say one day of the week. If you want to be on all 7 days a week, you can do so. I can take up 9 of you. The rules are simple. We respect one another in here, whether we are calling in or texting. I don't want any negativities. I don't want anything about politics. We're here about the child protection system, about your child, about to help other children, to help each other. The rules are simple. Respect one another. We do not list the names of children, social workers, or judges. And we don't use no profanity, no smoking or eating on the show. Lastly, I'm going to put my number up. That's my number to my phone. It's a direct line to my phone. You can call me on that number. It's 626 698 0990. And that's a direct line to my phone. Okay. There's my number. Call in and you can talk about CPS, about how it can help you. Maybe you have a story to tell or a question. It's 626-698-0990. Now, I do want to let you know I have another number. If you want legal advice from a real attorney, his name is Vincent W. Davis. His picture in the upper right hand corner. You can call his office at 888-888-6582 and speak to the reception. Tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you speak to Mr. Davis, tell him that Bob Pace sent you. Now, when you do talk to him, he's available. Right now, I have a banner going below my screen that tells you what you can do in talking to him. If you want a private text, it's only $10 for a private text message with Mr. Davis. If you want to talk to him, it's $15 for a private call. And then if you want to be a guest on his live stream, it's $25 for 30 minutes. Now, all you do is you send it through Apple Pay, Cash App, and Zella. And the number is 310-308-7758. And that banner will continue to run through my whole show. So that's how you can confirm with them. Anyway, he's the real deal, by the way. He's trained and educated and licensed in the area of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those are the three areas of law that you need to have someone trained in. And right off the bat, you're going to say, well, I got a court appointed attorney. They'll take care of me. They won't. First of all, they work for CPS. Now, the reason why I'm using the abbreviation CPS, it stands for the Child Protection System. It's found in every county in every state. There's many different names: Department of Children's Services, the Cabinet, Department of Children and Family Services, the Child Protection System. I can go on and on. It's easy. So I just say CPS. It's supposed to protect our children from neglect or abuse. And if they must take a child that's in danger, they're supposed to do family reunification. So, that's how you get your legal. And you'll go to any state, by the way. There's additional costs, but for instance, if you want to retain them for LA County in California, approximately $5,000 is retainer, and he's $500 an hour. He's approximate. It all depends on how long your case has been going on and how complex it was. Now, my case had been going on for a good year until I hired him. And I should have hired him at the beginning. I regret that, but I had to sell my home and it took me a while. I had to quick sell my home, my forever home. CPS took my home. They made me so that I'm virtually impossible to work. And then they took one of the priceless things you can never have is my daughter. My daughter that my wife and I love so much. The social worker did revenge and encouraged our daughter, along with the CASA worker, the court appointed service associate, and the judge, sweet talked to my daughter and told her, you need to divorce your parents, you need to change your name, you need to seal your birth certificate, get a second birth certificate, get a second social security card, and then get adopted. She did all those things. 12-year-olds don't know those things. That is wrong. And the social worker did it because of vendetta. She was caught telling a lie. She was caught telling a lie. So, anyway, you have to be careful out there. And that's why I'm here. I'm here so that you don't make the same mistakes I did. As I said, develop 5 rules. Rule one is get a real attorney. You need to because fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. You need someone that knows the law that can navigate CPS, has fought. And Vince Davis has fought for 40 years now. 40 years he's been fighting. He's the real deal. He also can do civil lawsuits. Once your case is over, he can sue CPS. He's not afraid. He's won millions of dollars both in state court and federal court. He's a trial attorney. He once was foster care himself. So he's a good candidate to talk to. Now, I have a little bit of 16 minutes into the show. We end the show at 8 o'clock. And so I'd love to have questions from you. So you can either text them to me or call them in or be a guest on my show. So next time you can talk about them. It's so easy to be a guest. I was a guest this last Monday night in New York. KK Richardson invited me to her show that she has broadcast from New York. She does her show at 8 o'clock, and I'm at 5 o'clock because I'm on the West Coast, California time. And so I was a guest on her show and it went really well. She's glad that I was there. You can't trust CPS. I don't know if you know the story. Remember the story of Alice in Wonderland? She finds in her backyard a rabbit hole and falls in. Then she meets the Cheshire cat, and the Cheshire cat leads her from one room to the next room. Very confusing. And that's what CPS is too. They're very corrupt and they lie and they'll take your children. They will take your children. I think that CPS is a fantasy world. Because when Alice fell in there, it was very bizarre and dreamlike world. She encounters eccentric characters. Not only the Cheshire cat, but she encounters the Mad Hatter and experiences some really surreal adventures. But in the end, Allison wakes up and finally realizes it was a dream. Well, CPS is not a dream, it's real. And it's a very tragic place to be in there because you're at the whims of their doings. They're evil. Not all of them, but the ones that I encountered in the Orange County, California, or in all the other counties. As I say, there are 58 counties in California, 100 in North Carolina. There's different amount of counties. And I would say 50% of them are rogue, meaning that they don't care. For instance, Richmond, Kentucky. There's an investigation going on in Richmond with the cabinet, which is what they call their CPS. They're wondering what happened to $1 million that's sent to the county there in Richmond. Well, they find out that one of the social workers embezzled the funds. over $400,000. Good evening. You've reached Bob Pace here on his live stream. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to? Can you speak up? Hello, KK. Bob Pace here.
Hi, Bob. I was actually calling because Michelle is in trouble because of the show we did on Monday. They took her kids today.
Wow. I did not know that.
No, she did. I just got off the phone with her and Betty Joe. This is some real crap. They are retaliating against her because of the show we did Monday.
Now Michelle's down in Florida. What county? What county was
I
that?
have her on my other line. 1 second. I have her on my other line.
Oh, okay.
Michelle, I'm on with Bob. I'm sorry, I was on. Yeah, I'm on with Bob. I got Bob on my other phone where I'm on his podcast, letting them know that they did something illegally because you did the show. Okay. You want to call? You want to call and you want me to hang up? You want to call in, Bob? So you can tell him what's going on. That's fine. Just let me know how I do that. All right. You see the number that he has up there on the screen on his broadcast? No. Okay.
It's 626.
Hang on. Yes. I'm getting ready to come on, Bob. Just give me 1
Okay.
second. Okay. 696 698 Yes, call him now because I'm hanging up so you can call in and tell him what's going on. Okay. Correct. All right, Bob. She's calling in.
All right. Thank you, KK. Wow. That is wow. That's with KK Richardson. She's from Brooklyn, New York. And she has a horrible case. They're retaliating everybody in New York. I don't care who you are, they retaliate. New York is the most corrupted state as far as legal goes. Anyway, apparently Michelle was a guest. Hello?
Hello.
Is this Michelle?
This is Alexander Ford.
Oh, Alexander, welcome. How can I help you? Okay. I'm doing okay, Zoom. Okay, good evening. This is Bob Pace Live. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
This is Alexander Ford. Sorry, we're having a interruption problem.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine now.
Okay, good. Well, I got you on my speakerphone. And what part of the country or what part of the world are you from?
Well, I live in Kentucky, in Bowling Green.
Okay. Is that near Richmond?
Yes.
Is your CPS called the cabinet?
Yes.
Okay. I am well familiar with Kentucky and the CPS problems in Kentucky.
Well, the reason why I was calling is my story is a little bit more, it's a complicated case from what I was being told. You're dealing with a young gentleman that was alleged falsely over a sexual assault. And there's 3 children involved. The older child has special needs.
Okay.
And also the father has intellectual disabilities, and he's also in the Michelle P. waiver, and these people have been in our home since 2010.
Who are these people? Can you tell me who the people are? Not the names. Not the names. Are these social workers?
The social workers got involved, but they did not want to communicate with the Michelle P. waiver. And when I told them that we had people in the home that was providing services, which is Michelle P. waiver,
about it because they didn't have to. That's what I was told.
Well,
But the case is still open. They returned it. This is the chaos of it. They returned. We are going in 4 years now of this case. They returned two of the children. The oldest child was fighting a civil court right now. There's an open case. But they've never been able to prove the fact that anything happened because they never took the child. When I'm talking about them, I'm talking about CPS. They never took the child for a forensic to get the child checked for whatever they were saying was going on, especially when you're talking about sexual abuse.
well, what about the civil matter? I'm curious about the civil matter because what is the civil issue?
Well, the civil issue is because they placed my son with a fixed of 10. That's what the CPS did.
Well, that's actually a dependency or family court issue. It's not a civil matter. Now, a civil matter is actually a civil matter. Have they been charged with a civil crime? What have they been charged, and who's been charged?
Well, nobody's been charged. I had to go get a lawyer on my own
Yeah.
to be able to fight the civil matter because.
Well, the civil matter has to be prosecuted by a attorney, the city attorney. So, the county is different than the city. So, what criminal charge is the city prosecuting? Is he prosecuting the father or the child?
But there is no charge because they just returned the two children back home and they dropped it down to the services in the home, and they found that the parents are unsubstantiated on the allegations. So all the charges been dismissed.
Well, that would be handled not in civil court. That'd be handled in family court, dependency court.
Yeah, that's where we at now.
Right. So why did it go into civil court? Why did it go to civil court?
Because the girl that has my son, the fixer of 10, she prosecuted and said that she wants permanent custody because the child been staying with her for the last 3 years.
Well, wait a minute. Is this a custody issue or is it a CPS issue?
CPS did the removal.
Well, then it should be in dependency court. It won't be in civil court. It's not a civil matter. There's something that.
They told me it's civil matter.
Well, do you know what a civil matter is?
Yes, I do, but.
Okay, so how is neglecting a child or abusing a child in civil court?
Well, that's what I said. I said the same exact thing. But the child is special needs, and so the people that are providing services in the home by the Michelle P. waiver has been explaining to the court that there's no findings on the parent that child should be returning home with the other two children.
Okay, so it's not involving a crime. See, a civil matter is a legal dispute between two or more parties, or individuals or organization. So it doesn't involve criminal prosecution. For instance, it's to resolve issues over money, property, or personal rights, and can result in monetary settlement, the enforcement of a contract, or a court order to perform a specific action. Common examples include personal injury claims, contract disputes, and property disputes.
Well, see, they never even told me that I had no rights to the child. They kept on telling me that I have rights to the child. But it's
Are you the biological mother?
I do.
Are you the biological mother?
Yes, I am.
Well,
Yes, I
have
am.
your parental rights been terminated?
No.
All right, then you have all the rights. You have all the rights to your child. That needs to be handled in dependency court, family court. That's where it's got to be handled. Do you have any documentation with you right now that you could read the court papers?
No, I'm at a friend's house, and he just told me about you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad the friend told me about me. I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week. I've been doing this now my third year. It's really kind of hard what you're going through because I don't know the whole picture, and I'd have to see the legal documentation that you have. But the way it works with CPS is that someone calls in and makes a complaint, either a layperson or a professional. Now, professionals are your school teachers, your nurses, your principals, your counselors, or your doctors, or a nurse, or a policeman, a fireman, a caregiver. Those are professional people, and they're required by law if they suspect neglect or abuse. Now, neglect is when a child isn't fed, isn't housed, isn't clothed. Abuse if a child is punished unnecessary. There can be verbal abuse, physical abuse. There can even be mental abuse to the child. For instance, a child is sent to his room with no food or dinner or locked in a closet. That's physical abuse. Neglect is when you don't feed a child or bathe a child or take the child to school or provide supervision. That's neglect. So, what have you been charged with?
Well, the allegation was made by the school, by an actual.
Okay, and what did the school say? What was the school say?
Well, the teacher, she really didn't know my son. It was his first year in middle school, and you talking about a child that has mental intellectual disabilities. He has a verbal communication. Pretty much they call it global delay. And so,
okay,
this teacher particularly didn't let nobody know anything. She just said that, and yes, my son does need help with hygiene. And the father was helping him with that. But the allegation that person perpetrated and said that the father abused the child sexually.
right, right.
And so one thing led to another. The father was detained. The mother was detained. Myself.
Well, the mother is retained because you didn't protect the child from the father. If the allegations are sexual abuse by the father, then that is called a physical abuse. If the
Yes, but they never proved that.
Well, I'm not there yet. I haven't been to your case or your beginning of your court or anything. I'm at the very beginning. I'm at the knock on the door. Now, you must have let him in to the house, right?
Well, my husband did. He let him in.
Now, why did he? Okay, were you guys ever taught at a real young age that you don't talk to strangers or let strangers into your house?
Well, I did explain that to him, but it was kind of already too late.
Yeah, I know. But here's the rule, and I'm saying that only out loud because everybody's listening. And if you're young people listening or first time parents, don't let strangers in your home. You wouldn't do that. You don't want a stranger that could kidnap your child, or a policeman could show up and mistake an identity and shoot you dead on the spot. Or in the CPS case, they can, well, that they do that as intimidation. The authorities are only supposed to protect the social workers. They're not supposed to enforce CPS matters. They can enforce a warrant if the child protective agency has a warrant. Well, a warrant says what they can do. If they don't have a warrant, they don't have a right in the home. If you say you're not coming in here and shut the door nicely and say, I'll get back to you.
Yeah, they didn't have no warrant. They came with nothing.
Well, they came because you don't know the laws and you never dealt with CPS before. They're very corrupt and they love to use policemen as intimidators. You know, when yeah, no, I know when a policeman shows up in Kentucky's uniform is an overkill. They have bulletproof vests on, they have all kinds of ornament and everything, and it looks scary. they have combat boots. They're an intimidation factor, and you think you got to comply with them. People cannot be arrested just because they're in their home. There's got to be probable cause.
Well, there wasn't. They arrested him. They charged him.
Right. What they charge? What did they charge him with?
They charged him with incest. They charged him with.
Okay, now when you say they, are you talking about CPS? Or are you talking about the attorney for the city?
The police.
Well, the police can say
That would be
if they caught in the act. If there's no act going on, they can't charge. They can only charge you if they see the crime in place. They can't hypothesize or guess. Now, what?
pretty much our story is here by faith. There's no evidence of anything happening.
Well, I realize that, but you let them into the house, so they'll find out something. I wouldn't be surprised if they leave evidence there. They're going to want to search your house, search your computer, and make it a sticking case. And the police.
They took the phone, but they didn't find anything in the phone. They returned
Right.
the
No,
phone.
I know. They're going to sit there and try to find some type of incrimination, but that's the illegal search. Again, they have to have a warrant to look at your phone, to open your trunk of your car, to open your door in your house. They have to have probable cause. Was there a lot of screaming going on? A lot of yelling going on?
Now, the Mississippi waiver, which is for intellectual adult and children's services, it's a state waiver. And so they also put him out of the house. And they said no contact with the kids, which I did comply with everything they asked me to do. But then at the end, I ended up being arrested. And the children got placed with my mother. And then they took my CPS took my son away from my mother and put him with a fixative kid. But that lady is a guidance counselor at the school. And CPS usually uses guidance counselors with situations to counsel kids.
Yeah.
I was already under the impression of what was going on, but I was told not to have no contact with the fixative kid. She's had the kid going on 4 years now. We're still battling. And I just got into the civil matter because they just closed out my case in January of this year, returned the 2 kids, the 2 minor ones, back in the home on January 14th of this year. But they was not working with the father whatsoever. And it took months to get a social worker to even come and be compliant with the case.
Okay.
So when the new social worker came in, she said she had no information, so she pretty much had to start all over. A governor was contacted, and they told him that they had to comply. They gave him a timeline, went to get all the paperwork in, and the supervisors and all the social workers that was involved, nobody was keeping up with nothing. They wasn't turning in like they were supposed to. But I had all the records of every provision plan, everything they asked me to do, and all the writings. But there is also the Shopee waiver that's help and support, which they are still in the support in the home, and they're saying the same thing because right now we're dealing with civil matters and they're having to be presented in court as witnesses.
Wow. So they took your children, but put them with your mother. That's a good sign. Usually they put them in foster care. How did you get them to stay with your mother?
Well, they told me that they were doing an in-home case. That's what the social worker that just got on the case last year, she said that they were doing an in-home case. They was not wanting to supervise the visit. My mom was doing the supervision. But as far as my husband, he had no business whatsoever at all.
Well, that's because he's been accused of sexual molestation, right?
Yes, but they have not been able to prove that. Even to this day, while we're going through a civil matter, there's still nothing that says, yes, you may be not confident in saying trial, but this is what we have. They don't have nothing. So they're just going by words, what somebody said. And that perpetrator that made the phone call, she quit working at the school.
Well, here's the problem is that's a professional. And 50% of the time professionals are wrong about what they call in about. 50% of the time. And if it's a layperson, they're only right 25% of the time. They're wrong 75% of the time. And this is from statistics I've been looking at.
Yeah, because they don't go by facts. They just go by systematic.
Yeah, I hear you. So you say it's been going on for 4 years.
4 years. In March, it'll be 4 years.
Well, there's something wrong here. There's something that you're not telling me or they're not telling you. Why has it been going on for 4 years?
No, because they've been stretching that out. Because they're trying to find a reason, but they can't find anything. Me and the guy both been compliant. We've been doing everything we've been asked to do. We are keeping our services. Nobody agrees to what is going on. We've been discriminated by disability. He's been pulled out of the home for the second time. The CPS and the prosecutor said that he was homicidal and suicidal. And come to find out, he was neither one of them. They was just doing that just to be funny. And they was apologizing and telling us they checked the wrong boxes. But I know I can read that they was just being funny.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on. I got like 9 people that have talked to me in the room. I need to answer their little messages. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Zoom said, I'm doing okay. Desiree, hi there, Desiree. Desiree is from, Zoom, I forgot where you're from. But Desiree is from Santa Ana, California. Hi, Desiree. And hands yellow, heart red. I don't know what that means, but okay. And Zoom says, let her know to call you. Okay, I have. And then we got Rocky. Now, Rocky is from New York, Westchester County, New York. Welcome, Rocky. And his brother is from Virginia. And his brother was accused of a similar crime, even though no forensic evidence was ever presented. Okay, Rocky. And we have a new person, Kelsey Boggs. I don't remember a Kelsey Boggs, but where are you from, Kelsey? Kelsey says, put them in foster care over speculation, no evidence, and no pictures by what the case manager and supervisor who have been giving us a hard time. I can know, Kelsey. Where are you from, Kelsey? So my question for you is, what do we do? What do we do? Sign as a new judge on her case, used to be a supervisor. Did not listen to any of her concerns and side with CPS, remove her children. No motion in there. Well, Kelsey, do you have an attorney? I need to know more information, Kelsey, where you're from and more about your case. That's right. Zoom, you're from Kentucky too. Wait a minute. Is Zoom your other half?
No.
Oh, there was a couple from Kentucky that called me, and his name is Zoom. So he has a wife that called in, Anita. So.
He's a cousin to my husband's house.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Zoom says he's from Kentucky, and Desiree is just saying hi. And Zoom says, no, that's a family member. I'll let her know to call you when they need help. Okay, Zoom. All right, I've addressed the people in my room. I have to keep my people going. So that's why I did that. So where is your case now today? I mean, what's your next court appearance about? What's your next? Yes, I am.
It looks like it's going to be, because we're supposed to be getting a new judge, and it looks like be in the beginning of the year. Because I'm pushing for trial.
Well, you haven't had a trial in 4 years?
No, we have not been heard. We have not been.
Well, that's against the law. You're supposed to be given every right to. You're not supposed to take 4 years to have your trial to find out if you're guilty or not guilty. That's wrong what they're doing. And they're making money. They're making money. They're making money.
I'm listening. Yeah, I figured this was about money. Especially with him being special needs. I figured it was all about money.
Yeah, I'm so sorry because see, they make $20,000 every month. They have a child in custody, and with special needs, they get additional $10,000 more. So you gotta be careful about that.
So what happens when the social worker just closed out my case? It's past 6 months now.
Well, you said you hired an attorney. What kind of attorney do you have? Do you have a juvenile family law dependency attorney?
He's a family lawyer.
Well, that's one good. Does he have any juvenile law background or has he fought CPS?
Yes, he said he does.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Be careful because your life is dependent on him. And the people in Kentucky are corrupt and the attorneys for CPS are really paid a lot of money. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Well, he's a private. He's private. He's not through the state. He's
Right.
not.
Well, at least that part's good. But you got to tell them to do your job. You want to make sure that you tell them you're not guilty. You want family reunification. You want visitations as much as you can, and that you'll follow the judge's orders, not the social worker's orders. You want to follow what the judge tells you to do.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? If he knows that, he tells the judge that, the judge will make it not necessarily easier on you, but he knows that you're going to follow his orders. The judges are powerful. They have a power trip. I hate to say it, that the CPS, the judge, all the people in the courtroom, the bailiff, the clerk, they're not for the family. No one's for the family except you two.
Oh, I know.
And that's hard to be alone in that kind of situation. Because you do care. You do care about your children. That's why you're fighting it. That's why you're fighting. And it's a shame that they have designated your husband was inappropriate with your child, with his child. I don't need to go into details, but inappropriate, you know what I mean by that. So
Yeah, even though that didn't happen.
right.
But
They have to prove their case. Yeah, they have to prove their case. And it's really hard. It's really, 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 really hard. And I'm so sorry you're going through it. I really am. Now, Kelsey.
I'll call you back next time.
Okay, I'm on in the morning at 10 o'clock during the weekdays, 8 o'clock in the morning on the weekends. I'm on every night at 7 p.m.
Okay. All righty.
All right. Thank you for calling in. God bless you. And please don't be a stranger. I want to help you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye. Okay. We had some other people calling. Let me see if I can bring them back. Good evening. This is Bob Pace with Livestream. You had called my office. How can I help you? Hello? You had called me. Call me back. My number is 626-698-0990. My name is Bob Pace. I'm with the law office of Vincent W. Davis. I do a live stream about the child protection system. Wow. People call and then they don't, huh. Okay, well, I guess we're done phone calling. It's 8 o'clock. And so I'm going to take my phone number down and put up the Department of uh, Government Efficiency, commonly called DOGE. It's a federal agency created by, well, who do we got now? This is Bob Pace on live stream. Who am I talking to?
This is Rocky. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, Rocky. Did you call me once before?
Yeah, I think I tried. I was thinking of calling at some point and trying to, I guess maybe tell the story. But I've been working on helping my brother's case out. I guess.
Okay.
He's been convicted, but I'm also helping him try to find motions to get his milk.
Right, Rocky. You're the one from New York, right, Rocky?
That is correct.
Yeah, and your brother's in Virginia.
Yeah, the Nelson County area.
Right.
Like the rural part, like northern western part of Virginia. It's like the rural part. It's also a little bit. It has a corrupt history as well. From Jim Crow, so they're a little corrupted. They're backwards in a way compared to like New York and maybe California in some ways. But I think what I was trying to say, like, I think from what I understand, they use CPS many times. I think on my brother, like when it came to his son, the truth is they also accused him of they also accused him of committing a sex crime against his son. I think they tried doing my brother tried going to a medical facility just to have his son checked out, for just for evidence just to show hey, he's clean, nothing happened, which some of the reports have shown up. But for some reason, I think they had a trauma doctor that was specialized in child abuse. When he kept trying to bring them back in for more testing, just to show there's no signs of abuse. There was a court-appointed doctor who
who specializes in child abuse always trying to interject and said, "Hey, we're going to be doing forensic interviews instead of doing these medical examinations," because I don't understand that part. Why do the court-appointed doctors always interject?
Well, first of all, it depends if you have a lawyer or not have a lawyer. If you have a court-appointed attorney, then you're screwed. They'll do anything they want to do. If you have a real attorney, then they'll stop that, because first of all, court-appointed or it's not you should use. You should have your own doctors. And you want to have them there as a witness firsthand. They want to subpoena them to testify.
All right, so that court-appointed doctor that they used, we try to interject from having a full medical examination just to show, like, hey, the kid's healthy, nothing happened to them. You're telling me that was when they interject. That's what their purpose was, to make sure that they find no evidence that would exonerate.
Well, they were doing illegal. Because I don't know if your brother had a real attorney.
He had a court-appointed. He had like some.
Okay, that's not attorney. A court-appointed attorney, you might as well, because they're CPS. They work for CPS. They're only criminal attorneys. They're not even juvenile, family, or dependency lawyers.
I mean, the guy has his own practice, but he also works as court-appointed, I guess, by the state as well.
Well, who's paying the bill? Who's paying the bill? That's what you have to ask the question. If CPS is paying the bill, I can guarantee he does not work for your brother. He works for the county.
I guess we have to pay the guy like out of our own pockets, so he would end up.
Well, then he's not well, if he is, then I would fire him if he did what you're saying he did, because if you're paying him, he has responsibility to try your case.
Well, we didn't pay him. He was court-appointed because of the financial struggle my brother was going through. He lost his job because of the charges.
Right.
He had a great job, 6-figure salary. He paid his child support on time. He provided for his son all the time. I gave him anything he needed, just to make sure he would stand still. Even took care of his hygiene. And I think they try to use a lot of that stuff against my brother, claiming that he was trying to assault him. Even made up stuff, even try to isolate his own. They used like the social workers try to use the courts and law to separate his son from him for like at least 2 years. It got to a point they had I forgot what they call it. It's like, when you separate a parent from their child for like a long amount of time, they end up siding with the other parent, I guess, and manipulating. I don't know. I can't think. It was something my brother was looking into. It says, hey, you shouldn't be separating the kid from the parent.
Well, that's called alienation, and alienation is illegal.
Yes, that's it.
That's illegal.
Well, that's what they did.
Well,
I'm not sure if it's illegal in Virginia. That's the only thing.
That's illegal in Virginia.
And these social workers, I was looking, they called them experts, but I looked into their background. They're all both entry-level workers.
Yeah.
And they both just started out. And I'm wondering, how are these people experts when they only have
Well, if you had the right attorney, you have an attorney, a professional attorney that you hired, they'd be proved out that they are not what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, because when I was looking, I'm like, this person worked. They had 2 social workers. One was a successor. The successor, I looked into her. It turned out she was a paralegal for 16 years, and she worked for her relative. It was her relative is a lawyer. This lawyer specializes in family law, child custody cases. So that's the thing. I'm like, I just realized maybe they used her expertise when she worked for a relative as a paralegal.
Well, what I'd like to do with you, Rocky, is that you've been on my show a lot. I've seen you up there for a lot, and this is the first time you called in, and I appreciate. That's why I took your call, because it's after 8 o'clock, and I can't run my show past 8 o'clock. But I did it because of you being a regular member in here, and I wanted to hear you out a little bit and try to understand what you're fighting there. So if you could call again tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock tomorrow night, that's Pacific time. It's 3 hours ahead because you're on the New York time. It would be appreciated. It'd be appreciated.
Yeah, I think calling today may be helpful because my eyes work during the day, listening in at the same time, but I'll definitely I'll definitely try to call you tomorrow night.
Okay.
If I get the chance.
All right. All right.
7 o'clock, that's Pacific time, so that's 10 o'clock New York Eastern time.
Right.
But yeah, I guess I'll say good night and I'll try to reach out tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Rocky. And hang in there. Okay, I want to end my show, you guys. There's the Doge I put up there. That's for your information. That's at the highest level that you can investigate CPS. I want to thank all the people that came into my show tonight. We have new people that came in after 8 o'clock. We have Michael Richardson, and you can still sue them after 3 years. And Ford, I don't know where Michael Richardson or Ford from. Crime is CPS. I agree with you. Kelsey, I've been trying to find out where you're from, but I really want to talk to you more about your case, Kelsey. And then I want to thank who else here. We had Rocky here from New York, and then I think we've had we had Zoom on here. Desiree Buckner. Zoom is from Kentucky. Kelsey's from Indiana, Dearborn, Indiana. She's been on here before, so she's been here a long time. Desiree Buckner is from Santa Ana, California, and I think I got everybody. If I leave somebody out, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but I want you all to keep in mind, never give up. Come here, talk about it. I'll help you through it. If it takes a week or 2 weeks, I'll help you through it. So, Michael's from Lancaster, California. All right, you guys, come in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. This is Bob Pace on Live.
Thanks again, Bob.
You bet. All right, you guys have a really super day. I guess he's signed off. So I want to thank you all. Listen to the video as it comes on. Good night. And God.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith